Hi, this is Karen's Creature Comforts for the day of May 30th, 2017. Welcome back, subscribers, and welcome to all new viewers. Hey, hello! We've picked two fine water cards or cup cards to describe today's events. We picked the Five of Cups card and the Nine of Cups card. Cups talk about deep emotions, because the sea, that's why Doreen Virtues picked the sea theme of the mermaids for the cups in this particular tarot deck, the Angel Tarot deck by Doreen and Radley Valentine. And let's talk about Five of Cups, shall we? Five of Cups cards in the Rider-Waite Tarot deck is traditionally known as the Crying Over Spilled Milk card. And this is a time to reach out to friends and family. I had like this insight that this was Memorial Day weekend, that this symbolized Memorial Day weekend. The reason for the weekend, the underlying reason for the weekend is losing lost ones in service. And then it was kind of a hello about unrest in the world generally. So people were, when they saw this card, it kind of reminded, which came first, the chicken or the egg. So the Five of Cups card reminds me of Memorial Day weekend, the underlying cause of why we were celebrating such a long weekend. Happy to see friends and families, but not so happy the reason why we celebrate it. And we're supposed to be really careful about concentrating on the negative, because historically, if we get wound up too much about world events, then our inability to focus and concentrate on our own lives and create for ourselves as individuals gets hindered. So that's what they're talking about, make sure you're not missing the silver lining here, because, you have to teach, we as adults teach our children about the importance of family. When you tell them how Uncle so-and-so passed away in World War II, then they get a sense of time, historical time, and why things happened, and the sacrifices people made, and the sacrifices countries made, that kind of thing, and why the laws exist today. And so, there's some richness there, however. So there's a good reason to elevate our thoughts and not get so wound up so that, we aren't able to be good historians to our children and our children's children, be good role models, that kind of thing. It could be an obsession. And when I asked the Supreme Being, what about, we'll go back there, and then we're going to discuss the Nine of Cups cards. Nine of Cups is kind of a happier card for people to see. This is about your wish finally comes true, things manifest, financial hopes are currently realized, fortune follows you, the simple pleasures in life abound. These two cards dovetail beautifully for the Memorial Day weekend. Luxury and material comforts abound. You're surrounded by beauty, happiness, and contentment, love of life, pleasure, freedom, things working out the way you hoped, self-satisfaction. Sometimes when you have such a long weekend, then you can go back into your work week and things manifest, because, it's kind of like it sets the gears in motion. We come back from a long weekend, and finally things that have needed to be decided are finally decided. Maybe somebody's a partner in a law firm out there, those kind of things. Big, huge things happening. So this is an excellent, this is exactly where we expect to be coming off the long Memorial Day weekend. And the Supreme Being chimed in with some divine messages from the other side, God, Goddess, and he said, they have, those are some, okay, over here. To look at the past as a lesson to establish precedents. So to me, they're talking about, when you're looking at the state of the world, they're talking about Supreme Court rulings, setting precedents, and they're also talking about how people have lost loved ones in wars for Memorial Day weekend. And so they're talking about how we as people benefit and learn from each instance that there were people fighting in service. And also Supreme Being God Goddess chimed in and said a moratorium on the news would help lift and elevate moods. So it's kind of like having that silent moment to celebrate or honor the passing of individuals that you've bereaved. Same thing here. They're saying moratorium on the news. Maybe do that so that, for the same reason, to honor our dead. And they're also saying less is more now. So quiet time, revered quiet time, spend time with your kids, spend time with your kids' kids. And we just came off that weekend, but there's some of us who are still celebrating and enjoying the long Memorial Day weekend. And also the spillover. It's kind of we see our kids and then we renew what it is that we want to do for the family. Maybe families are coming in closer together and leaning on each other more so now than ever. A commitment to restricted negative thoughts will bring abundance, because they're talking about turning your thoughts internally so that you have time to visualize and affirm those things that you do want to happen to you, to your family, to your family's families, as grandparents or great-grandparents. So they're saying, of course, what I just said, free up your thoughts for visualizations. And they say, here's an opportunity to make lemonades from lemons. And I'm going to set aside some time now to spontaneously listen to anything else, some wise words from beyond that the Supreme Being God Goddess would like to share with us all for May 30th, 2017. The Supreme Being God Goddess is telling me that we need to look at time periods in our life that were similar to the time periods that are confronting us right now. And she's saying that events have come around, things worked out. So that's what we need to keep our eye on. Keep our eye on the ball. They're also saying that liberty also means freedom to think about things that you decide to think about, not items that people are trying to lead you to. So be a conscious consumer and think about things and see things resolving in the way that you would like things to resolve. Be a part of the process of having faith and allowing the Supreme Being to step in and to solve things for us, right? And the Supreme Being is asking if you could attempt a prayer that would be extremely helpful about the solutions going out there, and having the Supreme Being step in and take that responsibility off her shoulders by simply just asking that things resolve themselves for the best good of all. Your best, your higher good, and the best good of all. That would be extremely helpful. And it would make you feel better. And it's something to teach your children to do. When you can't control events, you can pray. You can do that. You can be positive people. You can have faith. Yeah, more than once the Supreme Being has, he's telling me that he's pulled a Newt Rockney. If anybody followed Notre Dame, that was a person who made this like impossible football feat. And I don't know much about football, but I know what she's speaking of. So there you go. I hope this video has elevated your thoughts and will help you, guide you for the day. And thank you so much for being a kind and considerate audience. If you like the video, please put like so other viewers can find their way here. And until I see you again, love and blessings for the day. Bye-bye.